Thank you, Haley. Awesome to see those girls doing big things, traveling the world. And now joining us in the booth, the Chase Sexton. Thanks for joining us, Chase.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm stoked. Haven't done this, I don't think, since Daytona in like 2019. So
let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about the quad on press day. Why are we doing that? Just because?
I probably should have saved it because then they took it out, so now I can't do it. But I don't know. I mean, just if I see a jump I want to do, I'm going to do it. If I don't do it, it's going to bother me more. Last night, sitting in bed like, oh, I should have jumped that. Yeah. So I knew I could do it, and I just kind of busted it out. I was talking to Barsha. I'm like, yeah, you think you can jump that? He's like, yeah, you got it, no problem. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it then. So I busted it out.
That was a big one.
Taking advice from Barsha to jump a quad on press.
Yeah. Well, he'll jump. He's not scared to jump. So, I mean, I'm like, if he thinks I can do it, I'm going to
You're just going to go for it.
Yeah.
I love it. Love to see it. Well, it was fun for us. We were sitting right here behind us watching it.
You got the bird's eye view up here.
Looked easy from here.
Yeah, it was everything I had. Like, it was full, like, you couldn't really seat bounce it because they kind of had a weird transition. So, standing it was the only option, and that's kind of the way I like to do it, as Adam knows.
Yeah, I do know. I know all about your tendencies, Chase. But how is you walked in here and the first thing you said is the track is gnarly today. What's it like down there?
It's weird because it's like the dirt looks so good, but it's really, I mean, it is good dirt, but it's once you get that little bit of like a line in, that line is like ice. So if you get cross started or anything, you're gonna slide out basically, and it's super deceiving. You look like you have a lot of traction, but really you don't. So that's something you have to pay attention to, and it's going to be who can turn the tightest tonight. There's so many cut down lines. That double over there after the sand section is like, it's like an outdoor double. It's gnarly. It's got such deep ruts, and yeah, it's a gnarly track, and it's just going to be who can hit their marks the most.
Let's talk whoops. We got some challenging whoops here tonight. Detroit last week, you were unbelievable through the whoops. Did you guys make a change? Because here today, you're unbelievable through that section.
Yeah, so obviously Tampa went down in the whoops, went back to work with the team, tried to adjust some stuff, but ultimately just kind of committing and not hitting them slower, because that's what I started doing in Tampa. Started hitting them slower, and that only makes it worse. So last weekend I had obviously I was in the back, so I had no option, but it was full send through the whoops for 20 minutes, and it seemed to work out better. So we'll try that again tonight.
Okay, Chase, I'm sorry, man. I gotta bring it up.
Oh, here we go.
No, I gotta bring it up, man.
As Chase walks out.
I remember Bud's. Was it your first race? Your first motocross race?
No, it was the first season. Like, I raced like 6 races that season, and yeah, I mean, you can go with it.
Yeah, no. Well, I bet you $100 you couldn't beat me to the first turn. Bud's
I think
Creek,
it was Whole Shot.
Was it? Was it Bud's Creek 2016 or 17?
2017.
2017. You ripped the gate right off the hinges last week. Hit the gate. Were you trying to time it? Be honest with us, man.
No. So 2017, I don't know what I was thinking, but I wanted that $100. Wanted that $100. You should have had the edit put up on the screen.
I should have.
But no, last weekend as you know, Jason kind of rolls the gate a little bit, and as soon as I saw him move, I went like an idiot, and I knew in my mind he was going to do that, and I still did it. So it's on me. I could have went without the crash after that.
It's like when you're golfing and you think in your mind, don't hit the ball in the water.
It's going in the water. It's going in the water. No, but like I said, I could have went with all the crash after that. Came together with another rider, but other than that, it was a good night. And honestly, I wasn't bummed on. Obviously, I'm bummed I hit the gate and made that mistake, but it allowed me to kind of show that I have more speed, and to me, proved to myself that I do have that speed as well. So I was stoked with it. It was kind of like Hangtown last year. So it's cool to do those kind of rides, but it is obviously easier if you're out front, and that's what I plan on doing tonight.
Well, you've had a lot of speed all season here today, fastest in qualifying so far, but Anaheim won. I want to talk about that because you came out firing. Your speed was incredible. You had a huge lead, stalled the bike. Kenny was on you, and then you just slowly pulled back away. Like, it looked like such an easy race. Walk us through that win.
Yeah, A1 was, it wasn't easy, obviously, but it was after I stalled. Oh, I pulled away, then I stalled it, and I'm like, well, just try and do the same thing again and try and pull away. I knew Kenny was riding good, and he's always good at Anaheim 1. So I was just trying to hit my marks, and yeah, it was a good race. It didn't feel easy, like I said, but it was really just, I was in the zone and kind of hitting my marks and not really doing anything crazy. So I felt good there, and I feel like I've been getting better riding each race, and just, yeah, last weekend, obviously, small mistakes have cost me wins, but I think my riding's gotten better throughout the season.
At the start of the season, we talked about you trying to kind of find that 20. You had a lot of consistency in 2024, and we were kind of discussing whether or not you could find that 2023 speed. Where do you feel like that is? Because to me, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that 23 speed again.
Yeah, it was funny. I was watching videos from 2023 on my phone because I have a whole bunch of just old like videos from me riding practice, and I think I'm finally to the point now where I feel like I am going faster than I was in 23. I look better on the bike. I feel like my style and my form and everything like that. And I'm just able to do stuff that I wasn't able to do in 23 that I can do now, and it's pretty cool to see. So, yeah, I think my speed is as good or maybe a little better than 23, and I feel like I'm obviously changed my riding style a little bit, gotten more clean, trying and perfect some little things that I struggled with, and that's it's just an evolution. I mean, you're trying to get better every year, and I don't want to be the same speed I am this year, next year. I want to keep getting better. So,
I also think people overlook that transition from Honda to the KTM.
As well as I did too.
You underestimated it as well?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I remember thinking that it takes 8 to 12 months, in my opinion, to get fully used to a new motorcycle, and mainly the language. So your suspension technicians, your engine technicians, you're elaborating, you're telling them what you're feeling. Sometimes it's different from what they've heard before. So do you feel like that's coming into play just second year on the bike with the team, gelling a lot better?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is I went from the Honda, and then it's like I went to a different side of the earth on the KTM. Like I had certain problems on the Honda, and then I went to the KTM, and I had a whole new. It fixed the stuff that I was complaining about on the Honda, but then I had the whole new problem with the KTM that I didn't have any experience with before. So for me, it took a long time to figure out what I needed to get better on as far as like the bike and getting it to like suit my riding style. And I went complete opposite from what everyone else was going before on KTM. So that's kind of the hard part too, trying to get the team to go in a different direction than they had before, and they've been successful. So like, why would they change? And me coming in, I kind of just disrupted everything and went a complete opposite way. And for me, it's been working really well this year. I feel very comfortable, and I'm just happy that I can be connected with the track again and kind of have that speed back. That's the biggest thing. Like it's not fun. Last year, I feel like I was riding with one hand. Like I only had the consistency last year. I didn't have the speed to bridge that gap. If I got a good start, I could run up front, but I was really just waiting on everybody else to get tired. And this year, I can really play both games. I have the speed, but I can also have the fitness. And I mean, yeah, it's still not perfect, but we're in a better spot this year.
It's a different level of confidence, right?
Yeah.
When you're going to the gate and you can slip up on the start a little bit and come through and do things like you're seeing on the screen right here.
Yeah, Glendale this is probably one of my favorite tracks, of the year so far, just with how it was technical, but also there was a lot of different lines, and you were able to move around on the track, and I don't know, it was a fun track, and Kenny and I had a good battle, so.
And going back to bike setup, look, I'm not looking for you to tell me the offset of your triple clamps and how much oil you like in the forks or anything crazy, but for anything you can give our audience at home, like what is the kind of the tendency that you run on the bike? Are you like a front end high guy, rear end high? Anything you can give us? You can just say no comment if you want.
No, I do. So on the Honda, I was always trying to get weight off the front. And now on the KTM, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to get weight on the front and just have the bike react more and not act like a Japanese style bike, but go that direction as far as like moving with the track. And especially when you get tracks like this where it's slippery and rough, like you want to have the bike that it makes everything feel more subtle. And that's what I've been looking for. And also just rebound, getting quicker rebound, stuff like that. And just, having better position in the turns.
That's always a difficult thing in Supercross, right? Is you got to run it so stiff, but then you're like, man, I can feel everything in my hands. We got to make it plusher, as we say.
Yeah. So I run my bike, I feel like, on the softer side. Just in my opinion, I don't know if that's true, but I do run a little bit of a softer setting just because I feel like if I have to, I can make it up with my riding. Like if I have to be more precise, I can be. As far as like over jumping and like casing stuff, I feel like I can kind of overcome that as far as my riding style. Obviously some tracks call for different stuff, but this track here today is going to be really rough, so having a little bit of a softer, more plush bike be a little better, especially because it is slick underneath. So you need that traction, and every track's different, so they all call for a little bit of a different setup.
All right, you've mentioned it a couple times, a challenging track. We have a Triple Crown format, so shorter races. How do you balance the intensity but consistency in all 3 races?
Start and not do what I did last weekend. No, just get a good start, and I think it's going to be obviously who can make the least amount of mistakes, but also there's little parts on this track where you can gain time, especially in the rhythm sections. And that 3-in, where I did 3-4 yesterday, the 3-in is pretty tricky today because they took the face off a little bit. So getting that every lap, wheel tap after that. There's some stuff on this track that we haven't seen in a while, which I think is cool. And then after the whoops, they have that triple into the turn, which I wish was like a normal 353. It's not beat down, but they have made it a little easier. So, but stuff like that's cool. And the sand's going to play a part like it always does. So it's going to be a good track, but just hitting your marks, making the least amount of mistakes, and 3 good starts. That's the key tonight is the starts.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, boys. This is
you
fun.
got to go.
Yeah.
You're almost on track, dude. You got to get rolling. Thank you so much for joining us.
Your agent, Beaker, here is about to jump through the screen. Sorry to interrupt, JB.
Chase will be on track 4:20 Eastern time. So, Chase, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for some more Race Day Live and Chase Sexton.